those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the measures are considered en bloc. Agreed to. This committee will come to order. Pursuant to notice, we meet today to mark up several bipartisan measures. The following items previously provided to members will be considered en bloc, and they're considered as read. House Resolution 650 regarding the security of Iranian dissidents living in Camp Liberty in Iraq. Camp Liberty is a former U.S. military base outside of Baghdad that is now home to more than 2,000 Iranian refugees who are members of the opposition to the regime in Tehran. And this past October, 23 residents were killed in a rocket attack on that camp. We have been receiving information that the Iranian regime and their proxies in Iran are preparing for an imminent attack against the camp's residents. The frustration with this committee is that time after time after time, we've had the Iranian regime go forward with attacks on these individuals without this being blocked by the government in Iraq. And in the meantime, that is why Mr. Poe's resolution calls on the administration and calls on the Iraqi government to work to provide camp residents with the protections they need and to ensure they're expeditiously resettled outside of Iraq in such safe havens as Albania and other countries that have agreed to work with those who have opposed the regime in Iran to make certain that they are safe. I would hope that all of our members would support this resolution.
I want to welcome our friends wearing their yellow jackets to this committee today, and believe me, we are very concerned about Camp Liberty, and we're making everyone know that we're keeping a watchful eye to make sure that those people are protected. This resolution sends a message that we stand with the men, women, and children in Camp Liberty and want to see quick and meaningful action to bring them relief.
It is no secret that the Iraqi government completely failed to protect these individuals and Camp Liberty, not living up to its commitments made in the December 2011 Memorandum of Understanding. Camp Liberty has never been given adequate protection. And now with the Iran nuclear deal and Iran getting more money to carry out its illicit activities, I fear that Liberty would be an even easier and larger target for the regime than before.
This resolution, and I commend the Judge Poe for bringing it forward, details the history of violence against Camp Liberty residents, including the most recent attack in 2015. The resolution also calls on the Iraqi government to improve security at Camp Liberty. In addition, HRES 650 calls on the U.S. government to do a better job of pushing Iraq to uphold its promises and urges the U.S. government to work with Albania and the UN High Commissioner for Refugees in the resettlement process. I strongly support this resolution and the other bills that are part of the en bloc, and I yield back.
Well, what we have here today is a chance to make something right, or to try to take a step in the right direction, reclaim some of our honor as a country. Those residents of Camp Liberty are part of an organization that have long opposed the mullah dictatorship in Iran. And I support this resolution, Resolution 650.
Today, the committee is also taking important steps with the leadership of our chairman in recognizing the cooperation between the United States and Singapore, protecting Iranian dissidents with the leadership of Judge Ted Poe, and imposing sanctions against human rights abusers. I applaud the great work behind this legislation and urge their passage, and I yield back my time.
Last October, residents came under intense rocket attacks in Iraq. 24 people were killed, dozens of others were injured, and the IRGC claimed the assault and warned that more would follow. These kinds of attacks, there's been 7, if I can remember correctly, on the people in the MEK that live in Iraq, have claimed the lives of 140 people. Not one person has been held accountable for these murders. Not one person has been arrested or gone to jail for these murders that occurred in these camps. 1,300 others have been injured, and 7 have been kidnapped. Their only crime is opposing the tyrants in Iran. HRES 650 condemns these attacks. I want to thank the ranking member for his amendment that makes this resolution even better. But the resolution condemns the attacks and urges the Iraqi government to bring those responsible to justice. Those in the Iraqi government who claim links to the IRGC should not be put in charge of the camp. We should do all we can to urge their protection. It's important that the government of Iraq allow the residents to sell the property at Camp Liberty and Camp Ashraf. It is their property. It does not belong to the government of Iraq. And once again, I want to thank Ranking Member Engel for his amendment that makes this clear. As it stands now, the Iraqi government is only allowing their residents to take the clothes that they're wearing on their back. They can't even take their laptop computers. This is their property. It doesn't belong to Iraq. And the folks that leave Camp Liberty and go other places should be allowed to take their personal property, whatever country that they go to. This is only right, and justice demands this. And so I thank the chairman, the ranking member, for their support of this legislation, this resolution. I yield back. Thanks for the remaining time.
Well, thank you for your eloquence on this issue, Mr. Poe, but also thank you for introducing it.
The government of Iraq has failed to live up to this commitment. Approximately 2,000 residents of Camp Liberty are currently awaiting resettlement by the United Nations High Commission on Refugees. We must work with the UN and the Iraqi government to expeditiously relocate these individuals before any more harm befalls them. In the interim, the government of Iraq must provide for the safety and security of this vulnerable population. I look forward to the passage of this resolution. I yield back the balance of my time.
So that concludes our business for today. I want to thank Ranking Member Engel and all of our committee members for their contributions and assistance with today's markup. The committee is adjourned.